Yo guys, what is up? It's Teach here, coming at you again with another video over on Ark Survival Ascended. And as you can see, literally it just released like 10 seconds ago, the actual Aberration update with Bob's Tall Tales Part 2. There is a ton of new stuff, absolute ton. I'm going to walk through it real quick with you before even going into the game while everyone's waiting for it to download, including me myself. But like, you can even just look at the picture for those of you that haven't played and see all the new stuff. You've got Survivor Mate, you've got a literal blimp, you've got a new creature, you've got the Rock Drake, you've got a Spider-Man-esque thing, some form of new weapon possibly. Obviously the blimp is going to be one of my favorite things in the entire game, but Aberration is a fantastic map, so I'm stoked. I don't know if you can tell, but I am stoked. So anyways, if you don't mind, go ahead and smash that like button, leave a comment below, and then consider subbing to the channel. It helps a ton. You can see that they just released this. This is their Bob's Tall Tales Part 2. I'm not going to make you go through this one, but you can see you can strap on your goggles and gear for the Dark Heart of Aberration. It's an amazing map. You have a lethal underworld with a clockwork robot. That's Survivor Mate that I was talking about. And then obviously they added an airship. You can do the spider silk swing with Cosmo, which is part of the DLC stuff. And then you can do some really cool stuff. Viscid projectiles, evading attacks, and Wondrous Watch. There is so much cool stuff. Learn to identify, extract, and transfer useful DNA between creatures. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Pretty stoked about that. That means there's going to be something with breeding and changing things around. That's going to be super fun. So you can see there's super science to there's going to be a ton of new stuff. So let's go ahead and keep moving down this list, right? So the Ascent includes, you can see this is Cosmo. This is Part 2. You can see that it's got this, it looks like some sort of spider silk, but it lets you swing like Spider-Man essentially. Kind of like they did with the, I don't know if you guys remember Bloodstalkers from ASA, but this looks almost identical, just 1 instead of the 4 that they shoot out. Now, next thing is you can see that there is some new stuff, steampunk stuff, brass clad with your own steam forge, which is kind of cool. That's really neat. And then a large clock that seems to speed up time. The amount of stuff that they have added is crazy right now. Obviously Survivor Mate, it's going to basically automate different chores that you can do, which is going to make your life so much better. We don't know exactly what chores yet, but I am stoked to find out. Yeah, a lot of new stuff. And then this is going to be huge. This blimp, crazy. The fact that you can hover in place on Aberration, which is one of the biggest pains in the butts on the map, is going to be huge because this ability is crazy. Now, I'm sure it's going to take increased damage from turrets, so keep that in mind. But the ability to hover in place is going to be huge, especially for raiding ceiling bases and things along those lines. It's a literal Zeppelin, which is cool. And that's going to be a lot of fun. And obviously you can see this is added in. That is not, this is not the old school shocking device. This is some sort of electricity turret tower, and yeah, that's going to be super cool. And that's just the stuff they added in. That's not Aberration itself. These are just added things into the game. Aberration itself, however, if you haven't played it, is a malfunctioning Ark. It's super cool. It's all underground. There are no flyers except for the Zeppelin they added. There's zip lines, wingsuits, climbing stuff, cave dwelling, charge batterying. It's one of the most crazy maps that you'll ever play. That's why I like it so much. There are 4 distinct zones in this map. You've got green, blue, red, and then surface zone. So it's definitely going to give you all the entertainment that you could possibly hope for when it comes to playing the map. It's a lot of fun. So definitely, I mean, if you haven't played Aberration, this is a great time to start. It's probably my favorite map, and it's not particularly close either. The new creatures, yes, there are 15 new creatures. The Rock Drake is awesome. The very popular, there's just very popular tames on this one. The Carcanos, which is this crustacean they're talking about, the cave crustacean. Lantern pets, there are 4 of them, plus Cosmo. The Reaper Queen, it's like a weird impregnation kind of thing that you have to do in order to get a male Reaper King. It's very funky, but it's one of the most entertaining things that you'll do in Ark. It's also kind of gross, but you know, it is what it is. There's a ton of new items, 30 new engrams, and then there's, with the new update, obviously, that I listed up above up here, there's going to be like 50 new different things inside of the stuff, which is super cool. And obviously there's different challenges. There are earthquakes that kind of toss the game around, radiation exposure once you hit the red zone, gas leaks from little element zones, element chambers, which give you like the ability to harvest element for the first time. And then, yeah, the storyline's kind of cool because when you fight Rockwell, which is the final boss, it's a very unique challenge. It's not like a boss fight you've done before. We'll leave it that way. But anyways, here is everything that you're actually seeing inside of the update. There are new creatures, 4 of them, Eeling, Oviraptor, Gigantoraptor, Phasilosuchus, all of those. New breedable, you can now breed the Basilisk and the Carcanos, which is crazy. Wild babies, you get Carcanos babies. All of these things can now give you wild babies, which is absolutely crazy. I think that's awesome. And then obviously the new additions, cinematic lighting mode for PC graphics options, which is going to be super cool. You can see AMD fidelity. You should turn this on immediately if you haven't done so already. Basically now awards element. You can see the Ascension fight. Used to not do that. You used to kind of just like disappear. But yeah, so you retain the element through Ascension. And yeah, so you store it in a creature before the Ascension cutscene triggers. That's all it's telling you. Charge nodes now have transmitter functionality, which is super cool. Basically means that you don't have to go to the surface to jump around. And then Reaper Kings will level without or in scale with the player's level, which is pretty neat. Yeah, we'll get into that later. But wild creatures can various traits, greater utility and customization. So there's different traits that they have now, which is going to be awesome. You can see Survivor Mate, new Aberrant Ghillie Skin, Stone Platform, Wood Cliff Platform, and then small, medium, and large. Like they added so much. Like kudos, Ark, genuine kudos. Tech Sleeping Pod can be placed upright. Wood Elevator, structure skins can now be flipped. Hide enemy structure cosmetics option is super cool because that was a pain in the butt in order to do that. But you can see balance changes. Plant species X growth time by 50%. Damage from flame arrows is reduced by 70%. That's awesome. 25-second immunity for Z, Rani Ignatha. Health scaling has been reduced. Huge. Awesome. And then no longer able to equip weapons while mounted on PvP. Another huge change. A config for official. I mean, don't need to deal with that. I'm not going to read all these, but you can see they also fixed that many bugs. Crazy. Huge, huge, huge update. And you can see 2 new creatures. You've got Cosmos, Survivor Mate, and 1 new vehicle to Zeppelin. This is all the DLC, by the way. 3 new weapons and tools. The Gene Scanner, a utility item for players with multiple functions, including detecting specific creatures, interacting with the gene infusion system, extracting traits, applying infusions to babies, and harvesting embryos from pregnant. Crazy. Goo gun. Incapacitated and bouncy blobs of organic goo. Going to be cool. Time traveling teleportation device. That's going to be crazy. 11 new structures. The clock face speeds up crafting time. Embryo incubator. Gene storage. Okay, crazy. Industrial preserving bin. Library storage. Steam lights and lamps. Linked storage box. Huge. Shares its inventory with other linked storage boxes. Steam Forge, the Spotlight, paintable front surface for custom designs. Pretty cool. Tesla Coil, a defensive structure that shoots arcing electricity. So a new turret, kind of crazy. A tinkering desk, combining existing item blueprints for a chance to create higher quality versions or downgrade them. Very huge for anybody. 2 new structure cosmetic sets. Steampunk, yep, pretty cool. New player emotes, that's awesome. 15 new player character cosmetics. Dapper, engineer, beret, boater, cyclist. Like, huge update. Absolutely massive. Kudos to Ark. If you haven't gotten Ark Survival Ascended, this is the kind of update that we're looking for when it does get released to be stoked for. So definitely hop over and play it. So anyways, I didn't want to spoil it too much and go too far into it, but hopefully this video helps you out. And again, if you don't mind, smash that like button, leave a comment below, and then consider subbing to the channel. All right, Teach. Out.